and welcome to episode 110. Checkpoint Chat.
110.
Don't say
Lockdown
Dalmatians.
episode 110 Dalmatians. Lockdown episode 4 million.
Yeah, what episode did we start recording
It was
remotely on?
90 something, like 91 or 92.
Yeah, or even 89 something, and we were like worrying. We were like, oh god, if this lockdown lasts too long, we're going to celebrate the 100
remotely. And look at us now. 10
remotely.
episodes
Look at us
on.
now, 110. Looks like we might celebrate 150 remotely at
200.
the way things are going.
Good Lord.
What's up? My name is Alessandro Barbosa. I'm joined as always by Matty Figueira,
It's me.
who for some reason today looks like his hair is shorter. Did you get a sneaky haircut?
I got a little trim from Zelda, my mom-in-law. Bam.
Oh,
She did
okay.
some
So I'm not going
snipping.
crazy.
No, it's actually funny because on one of my streams earlier this week, a friend of mine did say like, hey, did you get a haircut? You look a lot less like a merino sheep now. I was like,
Yes,
That's
you
so-
look a lot less
that's
like
so
Cousin
rude,
Ed
but
from
yes,
the
that
Addams
is me.
family. Yes,
I think my friend was the biggest annoyance. My God. It's like covering my eyes.
I can imagine. Yeah, because I went for a haircut this week, and I mean we go to the same hair. Well, when you do get a haircut, we go
Yeah.
to the same hairstylist, and I told her that yeah, your hair is like super long, and she's like, she can only imagine.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, you look like a poodle.
I was literally a poodle. I think there's a lot of people who still have long hair. I mean, you get people like you who will just go. You'll find like a hairdresser who does it nicely, but you get other people just like I ain't leaving my house. I'm just gonna let the shit grow. I'm gonna do my thing.
Oh, before I got my haircut, mine was growing as well. And I was, at the beginning of lockdown, I was super tempted to just shave it. But then at the time, I
Winter.
assumed, well, I'm going to go back to work during winter and have no hair. And turns out could have shaved the hair because,
Well,
Yeah.
if you want to, I mean, let's do some predictions here. When do you think we'll go back to, like, I don't know what normal looks like, but say, when do you think society goes back to what it was, where there's no like lockdown, everyone's back at work, doing their thing? Because you could shave
Not-
your head. I'd say we've still got a good few months ahead of us.
I don't think at least for a year, at the very least.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was during this week, Microsoft said that they pushed their expectations for people to come back into the offices all the way back to January 2021. And Google says they are closing down the offices until July 2021.
Really? Holy cow.
Yeah,
That's
it makes
quite long.
sense. Like, overestimate, overshoot it, and then adjust. But I mean, just the way, like, the virus isn't slowing down. The the vaccine isn't ready, and even when it is, the time needed to distribute it effectively will take a lot of time. Like, we aren't going back for a while. Like,
Yeah.
we just got to accept it, and especially because being infected doesn't make you immune to secondary infection, just makes us all much worse. So
But
yeah,
I think
get cozy.
Noel had the best comparison, because a lot of people are like, yeah, once I get it and I get over it, I'll just be immune.
No.
She's like, this isn't like fucking measles or
Yeah,
something.
this isn't chicken pox.
This isn't
Yeah.
chicken pox. It's like a flu. You can get it again.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they've proven that you can get it multiple times. I think it was actually Brazil's president who, man, that virus really gunning for him, and I'm cheering on the virus.
Yeah.
He's been infected 2 or 3 times already.
My gosh.
Somehow still alive. I mean, the virus really wants to kill some people.
But he's
Again,
probably had mild.
rooting for the virus.
I'm sure he's had mild cases then if he keeps getting it. It's like, surely if you get
Yeah.
it badly the first time, you go, shit, I need to be more careful.
There's theories that he's saying he's getting it just so he can push his nonsense remedies again and say, look, I've been cured 3 times by this whatever.
Praise be. Yeah,
That guy is crazy.
I think there's a lot of crazies in the world right now. Well, there always have been,
he's
but
like
sure.
he's like a politician who goes to bed and he's got like a poster of Donald Trump just like above his bed. He's like,
Good
good
night.
night, sweet prince. He just he does the exact same things. Like, after Trump has done something, then it's like on Bolsonaro's like radar.
That's
It's
so weird.
it's fucking weird. That dude is so strange. Anyway, politics, they're weird.
Politics
Do you
and
see Donald
cronies.
Trump is trying to ban one of our social platforms, TikTok? What is
What?
this?
I
Yeah.
I heard rumors who was buying it. That someone was gonna. I don't know. It couldn't have been true.
Buy
Because
it?
TikTok is
Facebook
too
maybe.
big. Yeah, I think it is Facebook. But I'm like, TikTok is massive.
Yeah, quite big.
Don't know.
No, Donald Trump told reporters that he plans to ban TikTok as early as August 1st, which is today. So
get those. Don't send us questions on TikTok. We've been banned.
Yeah. He's having a good week, eh? Wants to delay an election, wants to ban TikTok because I don't know why he wants to ban TikTok.
When is the election? It's November, right?
November. Can
you imagine they delay it? I don't know if they will. I mean, but I wouldn't be
That would be
shocked.
unprecedented.
Yeah.
Because the reason for his delay is just like, oh, mail-in voter fraud and this and that. And there's like no evidence to say it's happening. But that would be, wow. Yeah, that would be something. I mean, it would be in tune with the theme of this year of just being ridiculous. So
I mean, yeah, when normal things happen, you go, oh, what's up with 2020? Well, are you okay? What's going on? Yeah, I don't know. It's been a wild year, but isn't it crazy to think we're in August?
I know, right? It's a wild year that is just like flying by for me.
We went into lockdown in like the end of March. And it was a thing I'll never forget. It's like, it's just 3 weeks. Okay, it's been extended by another 2 weeks, 5 weeks. Okay, there's no end in sight. What are we doing?
Those first few weeks felt super long, though.
Yeah, the weeks are just flying now. I can't believe it's Saturday, actually, on that. Whew,
I'm so glad it's Saturday. I had such a long week.
Hell of a week. Here's the weekend, and then we're going to blink, and it's going to be Christmas. And we're going to be celebrating our lockdown Christmases and then back to 2021.
How weird will that be? Oh my God. Lockdown Christmases, like...
We can open up presents over Discord.
Down.
Now you don't.
I think that's a brilliant idea.
You can downplay. And you hate it when you get a gift and you actually don't like it. You have to be like, wow, this is the best thing ever. It's gone. You don't have to deal with that anymore.
You just disconnect the Discord call.
I'm kidding. I get awesome gifts.
You just unplug. You're just like, shit. I'm going through a tunnel. I'm going. It's like I can see you. No, you can't. You just turn off camera.
Mute. What?
Yeah, exactly.
I can still see you, but we can't hear you.
I'm having microphone issues.
Yeah. So Christmas 2020 lockdown edition.
Yeah, it's not that like you said. I find as soon as it hits like August, September, the year
just escalates.
You blink and it's there. Yeah, it's crazy. And in terms of like gaming, there's a lot that needs to happen between August and November. I mean, we still don't know prices of new consoles. We don't know launch schedules. We don't know launch dates. The next 3 months are going to be wild.
Just for a second, I forgot there was a new console coming out. New consoles coming out this year. Because I was like, the end of the year is looking quiet. There's maybe Cyberpunk. There's Assassin's Creed.
There's 2 whole new fucking consoles arriving.
Yeah, the Switch XL. Let's go.
Hell yeah, I'm down. Hell yeah, I'm down.
Yeah, but gaming stuff, man.
But that's a good segue. Video games.
We always do.
That's what this podcast is about. We talk about video games sometimes.
And we sometimes play them even.
We even play them. Can you believe it? What have I been playing this week? I haven't been playing that much.
Whatever.
So I think
we've played a bunch of games. I'll just go
first real quickly. I mean, I started playing something that's embargoed yesterday. I can tell you that it is Horizon Zero Dawn on PC. Shocker. That's all I can say.
Wait, before just on that, just for a quick second, we read through that embargo yesterday. And let me tell you, okay, listen, listeners, embargoes tell you, like, you can't say this, you can't say this, you can't do this until this date. The Horizon Zero Dawn PC embargo says you cannot release guides and tips and videos and shit until X date, which is ridiculous because, I mean, the game came out 3 years ago.
And it's no different.
No,
like, the content is not different.
Game.
So if you have a guide for Horizon Zero Dawn right now, just slap on PC at the end of it.
But realistically, I mean, I know there will be a resurgence of guides and whatnot, but I mean, surely people just recycle existing guides?
Oh, yeah, exactly. I mean, I think that sort of embargo only applies to
new people,
I guess media houses that only focus on PC stuff so that they don't have that content up already, which would be silly.
I just thought it was funny.
Any site like an IGN or a GameSpot just goes, well, we have this guide, now we can just tag it with PC as well. Like, done, you know?
Yeah.
Anyways, very weird.
I just thought it was hilarious.
But yeah, playing that game.
Nice. I'm very keen to play it.
Other than that, I've only really been playing Halo 2. believe it or not.
Halo 2.
Yeah. I started Ghost of Tsushima last weekend and I played a little bit, but then I was in the mood just for like a junk food, comfort food video game, very mindless and not focusing. So Halo is a good...
Halo fit the bill.
Yeah, Halo fits the bill. And you know, obviously with Infinite being shown off last week, I was like itching to play Halo again. And then I was like, Halo 2 is the only one I have not played somehow. So it's part of the Master Chief Collection. It's also one of the ones, because the Master Chief Collection has all the Halos, right? But 1 and 2 were remakes.
Yes.
Well, weren't remasters, like they were ground up remakes in terms of visuals and whatever. They do a really cool thing where you can press a button and go from classic to new. And it's wild how different it is.
That? You're like, wow.
Oh, so often. I'm just like, I want to see how this looked back in the day. Oh, God, it looked terrible. Back to the new one.
It's amazing how the longer we play games, the more spoiled we become. Because you go back and go, oh, this is ugly. But back then it's like the best shits ever.
It's really incredible. And what's awesome is the remake also has a remastered soundtrack and sound effects. So you go back to the old one and you realize how distant and like not prominent the soundtrack used to be, and the sound effect of the guns was very different.
Really?
And you change back to the new one and it's just like all the sound is fuller. It sounds more incredible, and it's like all these little pieces that you wouldn't attribute. Everyone just looks at the visuals and thinks, cool, job done, you know. But it's a really, really incredible remake. And what's cool is that the game's cutscenes were remade by Blur Studios, who do all the Warcraft, cinematic trailers and whatever. So all the cinematic trailers look incredible, but you can also toggle between them.
Oh, no.
So you can be watching this incredible cinematic trailer, toggle, and then it's like this really bad in-game cutscene,
That's
which is really funny. It's kind of incredible that they let you just toggle without any sort of delay between it. It's a really cool feature. But Halo 2 is fun. It's weird that it doesn't have... You know, like when you see Halo, you always see Master Chief with his signature assault rifle. You know, the one with the little numbers on the that gun is not in the game. It's just like not there.
You know why? Because in the cover art, he was dual wielding something, wasn't it?
Yeah. So that's the big thing. They added dual wielding, and they added the submachine gun, which he dual wields a lot, and the battle rifle, which is been in a lot of games since, but it's like a burst fire rifle with the scope. But like the stock assault rifle is just not there, iconic, which I find so weird. Like that was the first thing that I found like missing.
It did come back, right? I mean, it's been back since then.
Oh yeah, I mean every other Halo since then has that gun, and they all have variations of it.
Yeah.
But the game, I can understand why at the time this game was like such a big step forward for the franchise, because it dabbles with like dual storytelling timelines. You swap between the Master Chief and the Arbiter, which is so basically he was the leader of all the Halo, all the Covenant forces, all the bad guys in Halo 1, but you never meet him.
Yeah.
It's just assumed he was like their general, whatever. And because he failed in the first game, he kind of gets shunned by the Covenant and whatever. And eventually he becomes friends with Master Chief.
John.
But you have these... John 117. But you play as like Master Chief, and then you play as the Arbiter in like this parallel timeline things. They're like doing things at the same time at different parts of the new Halo installation. So it's really cool, and seeing that like kind of like converge, like that shit 15 years ago must have been so cool. It's got so many parallels to me to like Half-Life, because there's a really good sense of pacing of like, here's close quarters combat, here's an area that is themed like, oh, it's dark, whatever. Oh, here's a vehicle section. It's got the hallmarks of like a Half-Life, now that I kind of know what that means. So I can imagine at the time like Half-Life 2 coming out and this having come out, because this was an original Xbox game, must have been mind-blowing for first-person shooters at the time.
So, I mean, but which came first, Half-Life 2 or Halo 2?
Halo 2 came first.
They came first, okay.
Yeah, because Halo 2, Half-Life 2 was what, 2006?
I think it was 2004, wasn't it? It was 2006.
Okay, then maybe that came before.
Damn.
Let me do a sanity check.
You
see, Half-Life 2 is difficult to gauge because it's got like 3 fucking episodes.
I know what you're talking about.
Oh, you're right. Initially released 2004. So Halo 2 must have been 2004, 2005.
Close, yeah, because I think Halo 1 was like 2000.
Oh, it was 2004 as well.
Oh.
They were actually the exact same month.
What? They copied each other.
November 2004. So basically, Halo 2 came out on the 9th of November, and Half-Life 2 came out on the 16th, so a week apart.
Okay, so you're telling me that Valve looked at Halo 2 and they copied it. Halo, like...
Yeah, basically in a week.
You can copy my homework, just change it up a bit.
Yeah, Gaben was like, listen, we've only got 7 days, but I think we can do it.
We can do it. Shut. That's actually incredible. Because, like you said, they've got some similarities in how they pace the game. Yeah, that's
which is crazy because, like, Half-Life 1 doesn't have that.
No, not
like,
at all.
Half-Life 1 is paced well, but it doesn't have the vehicle sections and the good... So these two were released... Okay, to be fair, I guess, Halo... the first Halo came out first and it featured a good pacing between like vehicles and whatever. So Half-Life 2 could have looked at that and been like, that's interesting. But everyone looks at Half-Life 2 as like, this is when shooters became narrative-driven adventures. And it's like, you just have Bungie looking that way and being like,
hello?
We had 2 games literally before this. Like, what's going on? Yeah.
It's interesting.
But I think this is why also I find at least that Halo's endured so much. A lot of people now, they look at it and they go, I don't understand why Halo was ever popular and whatever, but it is a legacy thing. It is like when Halo came out, it was setting standards.
Yeah.
And even today, I think it still sets some sort of standard. But like there's a reason Sony was like, we need to make Killzone and we are marketing Killzone as the Halo killer. Like, Halo was a system seller.
No, it was. I mean, so I know a lot of people who watched the Xbox showcase and thought that Halo looked like not great. And I think I'm part of that camp as well, purely because I've only played the first Halo. However, then I speak to people like you who love Halo and who've been part of the Halo franchise since the beginning, saying you're excited for it. And I have to remember, like, yeah, this thing does have a legacy. There are tons of people excited for it. And even though it doesn't appeal to me, there are many other people who are like, oh, yes, like a modern day Halo. Yeah, it's quite something.
I definitely think it's lost its it's lost its ability to be like, this is the reason I'd buy a console, is because of it. And I think 343 Industries, who took over at Halo 4, have really struggled to kind of capitalize on what Bungie had. Like Bungie had this like secret sauce. I don't know.
Secret sauce.
Yeah, 343 have like they pushed in one direction, it didn't work out. Now they're just trying to regain what Halo was. So like I'm excited from that perspective, but I also understand how someone can look in on the franchise now and go, why is this impressive? You know, I think right now 343 is really just looking to get back the core Halo audience before it tries anything new again. And that's a shame because it doesn't, like you said, you looked at it and people looked at it and felt like, you're like, oh, it's fine, but disappointed by it. And I can 100% understand that view.
I think we just expected like the God of War treatment, where we wanted it to take the established formula but do something different, and it just doesn't look like they've done that. But
yeah, no, I agree. It's the same way like we look at so many open world games. Like everyone was expecting Pokemon Sword and Shield to be the Breath of the Wild of Pokemon games, and it wasn't. And for a lot of people, that disappointed them because they thought this was the evolution that it needed. So I definitely think you've got these games, like you said, God of War and Breath of the Wild, that are like redefinitions of existing franchises that now are like the gold standard for something. When it comes back, it needs to be different like this.
Yeah.
And I think, taking no credit away, like Microsoft needs something like that, and Halo was probably their best shot, and they've missed that, I think. So, but we'll see. It was actually news this week where 343 addressed some of the criticisms of the gameplay showing. They said they're gonna definitely be looking at the graphical portion of it. things will definitely improve on that front, blah, blah, blah. But I think the most important was a Digital Foundry did a video on why the gameplay looked so weird. And it was just like a lot of it came down to a strange choice for the time of day that they showed the gameplay at, because everything was in shadow.
Yeah.
And without ray tracing, where you can't calculate good bouncing of light correctly, any gameplay that takes place within shadow, especially in an open world game where lighting is calculated dynamically, always looks bad. Like always looks flat. When you're playing a game like The Last of Us 2, where the time of day is predetermined so they can bake in shadows, it will always look great. But take any open world game like an Assassin's Creed or a Far Cry or Halo, and play the game when there's shadow, and you'll see that there's a lot less detail as opposed to when there's sunlight. So they've got a really like technical and very nerdy breakdown on that, and it makes a lot of sense. But it's still down to 343. Like, why did you show it like that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you mentioned last week that the screenshots they put out were awful.
Holy shit!
So I went and I looked them up, and I was like, "Who signed this off? Like,
exactly.
why are these the screenshots, approved to sell this game?" I don't know. It was
Digital Foundry
weird.
was also like, why? Why? There's
weird.
that one where it's just like loads of enemies on the screen, and it looks awful.
It's pretty bad.
Like, who signed that off? Like, it's not like the game looks like that. In motion, it looked really good. It was only when it's only when people freeze on single frames or they freeze like on those screenshots that it's like you can start picking apart the imperfections. And it's just like, why was that chosen as an official screenshot?
I don't know. It was wild.
It just, to me, it makes no sense. But whatever.
Halo 2. Bam.
Yeah, this started off as Halo 2. That game's good. That game is real good. It's got a good sense of scale. The firefights are really fun. I do think it's incredible knowing like the jump that this game has to Halo 3, because this one feels a lot more linear and a lot more structured, and Halo 3 is like one of the best in the series. It's just like these big open sandbox areas that with loads of vehicles and loads of big enemies that you can tackle in different ways in different directions. Like, there's a moment early in Halo 3 where there's just this massive battlefield and two of these massive like spider tanks that the Covenant has. And you've just got to like kind of use a vehicle to kind of get near them, find a way to board the ship, destroy it from the inside, and then get out. But it's all dynamic. It's not like a scripted sequence. Cool. And for that shit to exist in like 2006, 2007, I remember playing it as a kid and being like, this is fucking unreal. Like, it's just like, wow. It's just so incredible. So, I'm not getting that from Halo 2, but there are some moments in this game which are just really, really fun, and I really dig it. And the music is fucking awesome. So, yeah. Speaking of, Gareth Cocker doing the soundtrack for Halo Infinite.
Very, very excited. I better get some Ori vibes in there.
I think he could. I think that's a proper good selection. Considering Martin O'Donnell, I think he was the previous sound director, left Bungie and left Microsoft. So yeah, he's not doing that shit anymore.
Goddamn. Yeah, but can't wait for that.
So yeah, that's my games for the week. Very boring, uninteresting comfort food games.
Nah, look, I played the first Halo and I didn't play any of the others. Well, I mean, I missed Halo 2 on PC, but I never played any of the others because I just never owned an Xbox. But I enjoyed Halo 1 at the time. I really enjoyed it. And I'm definitely going to give Halo Infinite a try, because why not? It's going to be free to play multiplayer, which is a new. Wait, did we say that?
We should play some Halo 3 multiplayer now that it's out on Master Chief Collection on PC. Sure. Yeah. That multiplayer is fucking good.
It's good
still today. So good. But yeah, they're on Master Chief Collection on PC. They've got Reach, Halo 1, Halo 2, Halo 3. They're going in chronological order according to the story, not the game releases. So next up is Halo ODST, then it's 4, and I don't think they've announced 5 for PC. That one's still early Xbox.
Nah.
But that's fine, because 5 is bad.
It doesn't exist.
5's campaign is bad. Oh my god, it's so bad.
My god. We've both been playing a game, but before we get to that, let me just speak very briefly on other games I've been playing this week. So I finally started Hellblade. Senua's Sacrifice. I've played about 2 hours. And I do want to spend time. I want to finish it up this week and then talk about it next week. But I will say that I know very little about this game. Like I've actually never seen gameplay. I've never seen any footage. But I've always heard that this is like a little gem that's passed by a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I'm really enjoying it. Like only 2 hours in, but it's just proving to be a very, very surprising and interesting game. And surprisingly, feels a lot like God of War. Purely because of the setting. The
setting and the camera angle looks very...
Yeah, the camera angle is also very close. But I just didn't expect that because, like I said, I didn't know anything about the game. So playing through it, you get a lot of these little nuggets of lore, and it's all Norse mythology. I feel like I'm playing Lady God of War here. And it is interesting.
Corey Barlog looked at it. He was like, listen, we've got 7 days that we can do it.
Well, I did look it up. God of War came out the following year. So, I mean, it's not like you could copy-paste the game in a year.
We've got 7 months. But we can do it.
We can do this quickly. But it's just interesting because, like, before I went into God of War, my touch point with Norse mythology is the Marvel movies, Thor and Odin and that stuff. And I'm like,
that's a very fantastical look at that.
It's a very fantastical look. And then you play God of War, and it is a deep dive into, like there's Odin who did this, and there's Midgard and this and that, and they're giants and whatever. So I learned a lot about the mythology from that franchise. Playing through Hellblade now, there are little snippets of stories where it's basically explaining that stuff. And I'm like, oh, I know what happens. This dude did that, whatever. But yeah, I'll talk more about the game next week.
It's all different interpretations, I assume.
Yeah,
on the same events.
Yeah, I don't know word for word what the actual thing is, but I was just surprised. Like, I feel like I know this world now.
I just want to know. I know you tweeted it out, but you said you're playing on hard, and you have no idea if that actually means there's permadeath or not.
No. So, what the game does early on, I think the first time you die, it tells you that. There's a rot, and the more you die, the more rot Senua gets, and if it reaches her head, her journey ends. So I'm like, is this an actual permadeath mechanic, or is it just like a narrative thing? Like, oh no, like you can't let it happen, and then it happens, you just click like continue, whatever. But what it's done to me though, because I'm playing it on hard, and I've had that message because I did die. There was one of the early encounters that don't tell you how to defeat a certain enemy. There's actually, just on that, this game doesn't tell you how to do anything. It's very much you figure it out, which is really cool because when you do figure it out, you're like, oh, okay, it makes sense. But I died, and then it's like, yep, don't let the rot reach her mind, else her journey ends. It's made my combat a lot more intense now because I'm like, I cannot die. So I play way more defensively than I should. And I actually have not died again because I've been so careful. But
because you actually aren't sure what happens when you get to that.
I'm like, shit, I don't want to have to do all of this again. Like,
interesting.
Yeah, so
imagine you do get to the end and it is a permadeath thing.
No. I mean, I presume if there's a permadeath, you can die a few times. Actually, I did die a second time, not to combat, but it looks like she's got... like her hand's black, and if you die, I think it goes up her arm, and you obviously have to stop it reaching her mind. So there's a visual indication.
Can you like if you've got some rot, can you get rid of some of it?
No, I don't think you can.
Okay, so it's permanent. Okay,
yeah, but yeah, like
I think this is a permadeath thing.
Yeah, so it's put me on the edge of my seat. Like, oh god, like I'm playing on hard. I did one of the boss fights. I was like, shit. It's a completely different experience. But I want to do it justice, and I'll talk about it next week when I've actually. I
really do want to play it, and I've heard it's like visually and like the audio experience is just something else.
The sound in that game is unreal. It's really, really, really something. You have to play it with headphones. I'm sure you've seen on Twitter and wherever.
Oh yeah, everyone says play with headphones.
You're doing it a disservice if you don't play it with headphones, and I completely agree. Now, having played a little bit.
So does this make you excited for the sequel?
Yeah, because don't know what the sequel will be because based on what the premise is of this one, I don't know how it's going to end. But I don't know how there'll be a sequel. But yeah, if it's more of this, then yeah, why not? So and
the sequel's coming.
It'll be on Game Pass.
It seems like a while away. Yeah, a while. It's going to be Unreal Engine 5, so it's going to be one of the first showcases of that.
Yeah.
So I think Ninja, it is Ninja Theory, right?
I think it's Ninja Theory.
Yeah, Ninja Theory, a good acquisition by Microsoft in that regard.
Yeah.
I think if they can take this combat and apply it to other games as well, it would just be. I find that it's incredible that they started this game out as a small independent project, and they were very upfront with saying, we are tackling themes of mental illness and depression in this game about death, essentially. And the fact that, not just that it did well with those sorts of themes. That's like, I think there's very good ways of doing that within good games. But like, it started as a small project. Even when it launched, it still felt like the small project. But the word of mouth since has just been astronomical. Like everyone knows about this game now, and everyone praises it.
And you can see that, and this isn't a knock against the game, but you get a sense that it is a smaller game. Like, it's not these big sweeping open areas and these big set pieces, whatever. It's really like, it's a somewhat linear experience, and the environments feel small, and it does feel like this didn't have as much budget behind it, but it doesn't matter because the narrative and the combat are just so, like, it's really something. And I know it's like an 8-hour experience, so I can finish it this week.
If I'm not mistaken, they didn't even hire known voice actors and actors for motion capture. So the voice for Senua and the motion capture is a developer at Ninja Theory. I think she may have been an artist on the game or I can't recall. But I do remember it being a big story because Senua, or the performance, was nominated at the Game Awards at the time for like best performance. And it's like someone who, they were looking to cut costs, so they got someone from the studio to do it. It's just like incredible, like absolutely incredible story.
I would never have known that is like just not a proper,
not a trained voice actor, but someone who did an incredible job. It just shows you like when you have to work within a certain scope, sometimes the limitations of that force like really good decisions.
I think it's actually quite a thing. I'd love it if more big studios did that. Like, imagine Naughty Dog, for example, said, okay, we're going to do a small project. Here's a team of 10 people. Make like a smaller scale, like almost indie-like experience, whatever it is. Let's see what you guys can do. You don't have the access to this and this, but you're highly talented people.
Like an experimentative thing. Yeah.
I mean, I suppose that's how Hellblade was a thing. It was just like an offshoot of a project. And look at it now. Like, it is a AAA. The sequel does look like it's got AAA production behind it. So
definitely, especially with Microsoft's bankrolling them.
I mean, I know Hellblade's not the only example of that, but it would be cool to have more bigger studios trying that.
I think it would be. It allows them to take more risks with less of especially like someone like Naughty Dog. They can say, cool, this budget is a 10th or a 6th of what we'd usually spend on The Last of Us. So it's a much smaller project in relation. Fewer people, and I guess in a way Lost Legacy was kind of that. Even though, I mean, they experimented with open world hubs there. They experimented with the Uncharted formula. And it was like a different director, different writing team. So it's giving other people at the studio a chance to really shine. And it came out really well.
It was really good,
So more of that would be great from the bigger studios. But I guess this leads into the other game we've been playing, because Obsidian kind of did this with Grounded. It's a 13-person dev team while the rest of the studio works on Outer Wilds and Avowed. And it's a very different game from Obsidian than what we expect, and I don't know, I enjoyed it a lot.
I mean, it's so, just for context, it's basically a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids simulator. that's
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids mixed with the forest.
So like you said, Obsidian, known for these big RPGs. Grounded is not that. It is a survival game, but on a small scale, purely in terms of context, because you play as one of 4 kids who have been shrunk down to the size of about an ant, let's say, like super small, and your playground is the backyard of a house. And let me tell you, the backyard is probably not that big, but because you're so small, it is massive. And like you said, I enjoyed this game way more than I thought I would. I mean, this is a showcase piece for Game Pass where it's like, I would never have bought this game. Like, I would have looked at it and be like, that looks cool, but I don't really want to pay money because maybe it's not my vibe, whatever. But it's on Game Pass, and actually I had no intention of playing it, and you actually messaged saying, like, hey, grounded, whatever, and I was like, yeah, why don't we play it? And shit, I really had such a blast, and I mean, the game's still in development, like it's an early
it's an early
version,
access
whatever.
still, yeah.
But we played a handful of hours, and I know I want to play more because there's a lot to explore in that little garden.
It's really fun. Like you said, it was a game that when Obsidian revealed, it came not so long after they were acquired by Microsoft. So it was like this weird, like catch-22 of like, oh, Obsidian's working on a new game. Oh, this is
It was
different.
very, very left field. You'd never expect them to
very
do
left
something
field.
like this.
Yeah, I think that the trailers didn't really, at least maybe I wasn't paying attention enough, but they didn't really drive home how much of a survival game this was. And I do think it is still a very easy survival game. Like when I compare it to something like The Forest, I felt like I could take drinks of water almost anywhere. I could find food pretty easily. So actually surviving feels like the mechanics are there. So it's not like a survival light, but it feels forgiving in a way. So
Yeah, we were playing on a normal difficulty. I think if you wanted that, you could ramp it up. The difficulty,
possibly. And we were playing with 4 people, so it was pretty easy to get up and running.
Thing,
Yeah, it changes. And we're playing with John Michael, who seems to be an aficionado at survival games.
Like he pointed out, we spawned you, me, Keegan, and John Michael. We're going to play this Honey, I Shrunk the Kids simulator. The first thing you did was punch an ant. I don't know why.
I wanted to see what happened.
I don't know why you brought that howl upon us, but you, me, Keegan died a lot. John Michael
very quickly, yeah.
John Michael, meanwhile, off doing his survival thing, just like getting a base up and running. Like, what are you guys doing back there?
Yeah, we like, oh, these ants are killing us, and he's like, does anyone have thistle?
You're like,
I need to craft this thing. I don't even know what that is. Yes. The ant aggro is ridiculous because you get revived and it just kills you again.
Yeah, but
like immediately. It's
like we said, that the game is still in early development. So it's very rough around the edges, but I think what they've already got in place, it's very promising for what's to come.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and I think the as weird and like cartoonish as the setting looked in trailers, actually playing through it was kind of incredible because it was so different to what I've played in other survival games. Like your kind of like canopy of trees are individual blades of grass that take a couple of axe swings to cut down, just like a tree. You've got like dandelions that you can cut down and pick up. You've got massive spider webs and conversely massive spiders everywhere.
Terrifying.
The fact that a ladybug is like this huge thing that you can jump on and use as like a car. It's just like the scale of everything is it doesn't fade as quickly as I thought it would.
No.
Throughout all the hours, I was like, man, this is so cool. It just it feels cool,
It really felt like a breath of fresh air. Not like it's not like I'm a survival game expert, someone who plays many of them, but in terms of just raw gaming, it's such an interesting aesthetic because it was, like you said, I had that sense of wonder the whole time. I'd like walk and see a baseball. And it's like this massive target. I was like, wow, that's so cool. You found a Tic Tac box. We're like, whoa, a Tic Tac box.
And then I found out you could open it. So I like cut blades of grass away from the cap, and then I was able to open it, and then I needed a strong hammer to break apart the mints inside. Like, it's so cool. It's so weird, and it's so interesting.
It's such a twist on, I suppose, established survival formula.
And I mean, it's got the tropes there. Like everything felt familiar. Especially coming off of The Forest, it was like, okay, I know exactly what sort of game this is.
Yeah.
But it felt really approachable. I didn't feel like I was lost or confused about what needed doing. I think the quest log is pretty good at shuffling you towards things you should do. And the story content in there, so there is a story, which is great. It's thin at the moment because obviously it's still in early access, but there's some weird shit with like an underground lab and a tiny robot. It's kind of cool.
It's a good time. Yeah, I'm very keen to see. I mean, I don't know what their timeline looks like, but I want to play more now, and I want to leave it for like a year or two, whatever, and then come back when it's released, just like The Forest. Because I mean, I also
that's
played
essentially how I did it.
Yeah, I played The Forest so long ago, and I was like, "Oh, this is pretty cool." And then I actually like completely forgot about it. Then you spoke about it. It had launched properly, and it's like, "Oh yeah, I should revisit this game." And
yeah, I remember playing. I bought The Forest when I was still working at eGamer. It was in early access.
Yeah,
and I remember playing it then because everyone was touting the zombie AI was like super clever. And I remember
terrifying.
still terrifying. I remember like vibing with it then, but it was like so bare bones at the time. And like it took like 5 years for it to hit 1.0. And it was only when GameSpot were like, do you want to review The Forest? I was like, oh yeah, that game.
Yeah.
And what a game. Holy shit, I love that game. Yeah.
But I think Grounded is very much in the same vein because like the playground's there. It's really just about them fleshing it out and adding stuff to it now. I mean, and I've already been on the Reddit seeing what people have been making and what they've been up to. And like there's actually so much they can do with this game, the developers. I mean, they could just keep expanding it. So like we've got the garden now, and I think it's all fixed location stuff. Like there is a story to do there.
Yeah, it's not procedural, yeah.
They could be like, well, there's a hole in the fence, you can go to the neighbor's yard, or you can cross the street. Like there's you can go into the house. Like there's a lot of stuff they can just keep adding to this game. And I find that very exciting because imagine the prologue of the game's like actually in the garden, but in order to restore yourself to normal size, you have to get into like upstairs in the house or something, and you have to go do stuff in the house. Like that'd be fucking cool.
It turns into a CS:GO game on Rats 1 or something like that.
Did you ever play any of those CS:GO maps? They were called rat maps.
When I used to play it as a kid, I loved those maps so much. Yeah,
just for you guys to understand, it's literally the same concept of you are just the size of a rat or something small, and you're running around these giant.
I love that the sponge in the kitchen was like this bouncy pad that you could just like. It was like a mix of Quake and CS:GO. It was so stupid but amazing. Like
I loved that the one bomb site was a dollhouse.
Yes, so good.
It's good, but
I think Grounded being in early access is the perfect thing. Like I've seen a number of sites doing like reviews, early access reviews, and for some reason scoring the game, which I don't know. I have this weird like rationale around early access reviews. Like I think it's worth reviewing something in early access because it's like it is charging people money. So to me, if you are charging money for something, you are opening yourself up to critique and review. Yeah. That's simple. Like doesn't matter if you're in early access, but the actual score of it is like a bit
that's
whatever.
A bit
weird.
Yeah,
that's a bit weird. Like I think you can review it and whatever. Never anyway. But like all the critiques I'm seeing in a lot of reviews, which I agree with, they are things that I could have applied to The Forest when it was in early access, and I know that the sort of roadmap, the style of releasing the game fixes those issues with the community. So I think what Obsidian did was nail a base off the bat, which is to me the most important part.
For sure, yeah.
And now they can definitely add more story content. They can rebalance certain things like the number of spiders or the damage outputs of humans, or like I said, the survival elements. They can make like your thirst and hunger go down faster or something like that.
Yeah.
And I think developing it with a community that already seems pretty amped by the game is perfect. So I see a bright future for this game.
Yeah. Look, it really left a positive impression on me.
Yeah, 100%. It wasn't like this looked stupid, and it was kind of stupid for like an hour, and I don't really think about it. Like that game, the spiders were terrifying, absolutely terrifying.
But I mean, even that in itself is something I just never thought about. You know, being small, like of course spiders are going to be the big enemies that you want to run away from. I mean, I think what sold the game to me is you sent me that clip of two streamers playing, and one's busy running out of a tunnel, turns around, there's a giant spider there.
Yeah, climbing in. Yeah.
It just never crossed my mind that that's the sort of thing that would happen in the game. I was like, yeah, I want to play this. And let me tell you, those spiders are terrifying.
I mean, you had a couple of instances. I think it's really cool how when they're coming at you and you can't see them, you see the blades of grass on the horizon move, so
my
you can
God,
tell
it's
that they're
horror.
coming, like a
Actual
monster
horror
movie. But also
Shit.
like you ran into one during the day that looked like it was dead, but it was actually just sleeping. So
it
you
must
like
have just been sleeping or something.
yeah, it just like you know when you see a spider in real life, it's like upside down and it's curled all its legs. It almost looks dead, but then it just unfurls them and jumps up, and you cucked
Yeah,
yourself.
I
It was
really
so
did.
funny.
It is
so funny.
completely unexpected. And I was like, yeah, this game.
And you were busy running away from another spider when that happened. Yeah.
I mean, there's so much they're going to put in this game. Like, don't even get me started on, I don't know, imagine like bees or wasps or these other
Oh my god!
big,
Yeah,
terrifying
flying things. Or
yeah.
man, those ants were ridiculous. Like they come into your base when you're cooking food,
And they
so
steal
you cook pieces of insects to like eat and whatever. And these fucking ants, man, these things, they just came, they broke down one of the walls of our base and just stole the food off the spit roast and ran away with it. I was like, what
the
just
hell?
happened? Yeah. And
This
I've
is-
seen in other videos that they'll break your storage containers as well and steal all the resources
What?
inside them.
Those assholes. That's
Fucking
not cool.
ants, man. That's why I punched it at the beginning.
You knew,
I
right?
knew.
Right from the beginning. No, man.
They are terrifying. I came across a like a platoon of soldier ants, and like when enemies aggro you in this game, their eyes turn red, which is super creepy, but very effective at letting you know if you're being attacked or not. Yeah. Yeah, it's like the red suited people in Time Crisis 2. You know they're going to shoot you immediately. So I just came across this platoon of soldier ants, and they all had red eyes, and there was like at least 10 of them all coming towards me, and I was like,
I mean, even that. Can you imagine when this game releases in 2-3 years properly? The first raid is like an anthill.
I'd be down.
Go fight the queen, whatever. Oh my god, I can't wait.
It just reminded me of the only thing that was a downside of this game was the ping was like
yeah,
so
I mean,
high. Holy crap.
I don't know what the infrastructure is, but I was hosting, so I didn't have that bad an experience. But I do hope that they iron that out, because you said you looked it up and it seems a lot of people are having issues with it.
Yeah, I saw a couple of people on Reddit complaining about it, and again, I'm not sure because like you hosted, so I don't know if it's a peer-to-peer thing. But even if it is a peer-to-peer, it shouldn't have been as bad as it was.
It shouldn't be an issue. I mean, we're both on fiber. My upload's good. We're not far from each other.
And you're not far, like, distance-wise from me. So, yeah, I'm not sure. But, like, all of us, it was Keegan, John Michael, and I were struggling with high ping. Like, not even like, oh, this feels slightly off. Like, the ping was, like, a second off. It was really bad.
Stupidly high.
Really, really bad. So it made combat, like...
Difficult.
I couldn't kill ants because, like, as soon as they started running away, like... I couldn't hit them again because the timing was always off. So, but that, again, early access game, it's on Game Pass. I highly recommend people try it out because it is really fun. And it seems like it's doable solo. I know Deathbox was playing solo.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's good. Good game.
Good time. So, yeah,
I don't know if you're streaming it again, but I certainly want to play it again with you guys.
I'll happily play more of that. Tuesday, let's do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna come in again, and you guys played after I logged off, so I'm expecting a double story base.
Listen, we put roofs. We put a roof on our base, and we put some mushroom gardens.
Oh, mushroom. Oh, okay. And I mean, when I left, we had just set up the spider webs to catch moisture.
Yeah. We've got like a little bit more than that, but don't worry. I did some exploring, and there's a bunch of places I want to go in the game still. So yeah, we'll play more. But other than Grounded, I also want to talk about this more next week when I've played it a lot more. I'm playing Mario, the Origami King, Super
oh yes,
Paper Mario. I'm still early days. Like,
King?
I've really played dribs and drabs over the week, like literally 10 minutes here, 15 minutes there. So I'm only, I'd say, again 2-3 hours in, and yeah, the game, I think the game takes a long time to really get you into it in terms of combat. I feel like every encounter I've had has been a very on the nose, almost tutorial, like this is how combat works. We're going to hold your hand, make sure you know how it works, and then my next encounter, they don't have like a tutorial popping up, but it's very much super simple. Like,
we held your left hand before, now we'll hold your right one.
I'm like, I get this system. I wanted to really throw me in the deep end now and make me think about what I must do. But yeah, I need to play that game a lot more because again, I'm still early days, and I want to talk about it when I have more time in it.
Is it working well as a pick up and play for 20 minutes and put it down? Like it lends itself well.
The beginning initially wasn't, because although the combat very much holds your hand, there were times where I picked it up like a few days later. I was like, wait, what do I have to do? I've got to line these people up. What is the weapon I use? So maybe not initially, but I think in the long run it shouldn't be an issue. Like just picking up, doing a bit of exploring, going back.
It is interesting how many Switch games, especially the first party ones, I mean, it must be baked into their design that they are, good at small. I mean, Breath of the Wild is like, you can explore for a little bit, take down an enemy camp and like put it on standby.
Yeah.
It's baked into its design, which is really smart. So I do want to play Origami King. Like it looks real fun. And apparently the humor is super good.
I can tell you now, the humor is incredible. Like I love the writing and just the puns and just the general, I suppose, tone of the game. It's very light and funny, and I really enjoy that. So,
and does it look? I assume it looks pretty good as well.
It's really pretty. I mean, I don't know how wrong you can go with an origami aesthetic, because it does remind me of. I mean, the only other origami game that comes to mind is Tearaway, and it's such a bright aesthetic that pops. Like it really stands out, and I'm like, I wonder why more people don't do this. Maybe it's a lot of work to, get that aesthetic right, to make everything look like it's made out of paper. But it is really, really nice, and I love it. So,
it looks really good in motion. I think it looks fantastic, and I like the way Mario as a normal paper person contrasts to the more like high definition looking origami people, creatures, whatever. So yeah, that game looks good. I'm excited to give it a go.
I'll play more, but I think that is all we have played this week. That's
sweet.
Lots.
Should we get to game releases?
Yes.
So we are looking, can you believe it, at game releases from today, August 1st, until August 7th. And as far as I know, August is like a busy month with lots of like small games that I kind of want to give a go. You know what I mean? Okay, so we go, oh my God, there's a game coming out this week that I still cannot believe is still coming out. Never mind. We'll get to that. So firstly, we've got... on August 4th, Scully on PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. What is Scully? Let's see. Scully.
I don't know.
What's a Scully? Let's see. Okay, I found a Steam page. On a mysterious remote island, a skull washes up on shore and is reawakened by an enigmatic deity. Dubbed Scully, the newly reanimated being has been summoned to intervene in a war between the deity's three siblings, whose quarrel jeopardizes the island they call home. Interesting. It's got a cool look to it. Cool. It's weird. It's like you are playing just as the skull, almost. That can looks like
name.
looks like he can like take over. Hop, skip, and roll your way to victory. Dodge obstacles across the island as Scully, a skull reanimated. Transform into three distinct forms to overcome challenges and defeat enemies. It looks interesting. Looks cool.
Nice. Scully. Game of the week. Well,
game of the week. Yeah, August 4th. Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout. I cannot wait for this game. So if you don't know what Fall Guys is, it's almost like a game show take on a battle royale. So it's 60 players, and you get thrust into like a bunch of different mini games that, if you've ever watched a game show like Wipeout or like American Ninja Warrior, stuff like that, it reminds me a lot of a series back on Xbox a while ago called Fusion Frenzy, which was also kind of like this. It was like lots of game show like mini games strung together. So I think that's why this game speaks to me a lot as well. But man, I was watching, there was a beta last weekend, there's a beta this weekend as well, and it just looks so fun. Just looks so colorful and wholesome and ridiculous, and just, a different type of battle royale, put it that way.
Did you ever watch a show called Takeshi's Castle?
Yes, it's got a lot of that as well.
Castle, yeah.
100% Takeshi's Castle. That sort of type of ridiculous. Definitely. I think the big news is that this week it was announced it's going to be launching with PlayStation Plus.
PlayStation Plus.
And the last time a big multiplayer game took that risk, it was a little game by the name of Rocket League. Can you imagine? So I think Fall Guys could be a big thing.
Yeah.
It is out on August 4th on PC and PS4, and like I said, on PS Plus. So yeah.
Yeah, that's also coming.
Also August 4th on PC, Hellbound. Not sure what that is.
Yeah, this game sounds familiar, but I mean, I suppose a lot of games with the word hell in them sound familiar.
There was a game that came out this week called Hellpoint, and now there's Hellbound. So it's a classic first-person shooter-style game, like the good old days. An action game focused on speed, gore, guns, and metal music.
Nice.
Okay, so looks like Doom.
Doom clone.
Yeah. So that's out.
August 7th.
August 4th as well. Spitlings?
Oh, I missed one.
PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. I don't know what Spitlings is. I like the name, though. Spitlings.
That's what it is.
Oh, okay. Spitlings is a modern take on a hardcore arcade game for 1 to 4 players in which you waggle through constantly changing patterns of bouncy bubbles. That looks kind of cool. It looks like a challenging platformer almost, with a very minimalistic style.
Speaking my language here.
This looks cool.
Spitlings. I like the aesthetic. Oh my god, that's loud.
The aesthetic is very cool. Okay, I might play this.
100 Spitlings.
100 Spitlings parachute onto an island.
Little platformer. That's quite cool.
Yeah, this looks pretty great. So that's out on August 4th as well. August 7th, Horizon Zero Dawn coming to PC. Cool.
Also, August 7th, Fast and Furious Crossroads.
This is the one that I'm just like...
Why?
Yeah, they released one gameplay trailer and it was bad.
It looked like a mobile game.
So bad.
Like
it looked
straight
so
up
bad.
A mobile game.
And the voice acting was so bad. So bad. So yeah, this is... I think the developers of this are Slightly Mad Studios who are putting out Project Cars 3 as well, which is an actual good racing game. So,
but explain that to me. Okay, so Project Cars 3 racing game, really pretty. Fast and Furious,
not good.
So I'm watching the trailer. It really looks like a mobile game, and not that there's anything wrong with mobile games, but if this is a console experience, then what is going on here?
It looks real. It looks like how movie tie-ins used to look, just like really low budget, nowhere near as interesting as the films they're adapting, and just So that's out on August 7th on PC, PS4, and Xbox One, and that's everything for this week. Pick of the week, Fall Guys for sure.
Fall Guys.
Cannot wait to play that.
Oh my god, I just saw the week after Risk of Rain 2. It's another game we should play.
Risk of Rain 2, Flight Simulator.
So many games.
Hyperscape coming out officially, stuff like that. All happening.
So much.
Lots happening this month. Yeah. Should we get to news?
Yeah, on news, Hyperscape is coming to not PC, Xbox and PlayStation 4, August 11th.
Yeah, I think is that when it's going into like 1.0 or?
I think it's actually launching, if I'm not mistaken. It's the full version of Hyperscape will kick off its first season on PS4, Xbox One, and PC on August 11th. I presume that means it's like the actual release.
I think that is the full release now. So,
I think if you enjoy battle royals and shooters, Hyperscape's definitely worth messing around with, and it's free.
Oh, definitely, nothing to lose. I think there's nothing wrong with giving it a go, but I gave it a go, and now I don't really feel like giving it a go anymore. I want to give it
a while before I go back to it. Let them polish it up a bit. But that's coming.
Netflix had a bit of a banger of a week. They announced that they are making a animated series for Splinter Cell.
Yep.
With the writer of John Wick helming the project.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's already been ordered for 2 seasons. It will be 8 episodes each season. They haven't announced like any casting, but man, if they don't get Michael Ironside in as Sam Fisher, that would be a travesty.
Goddamn.
Listen, the last Splinter Cell game was 2013. I'm kind of over asking Ubisoft for a new one because I really fucking want a new Splinter Cell. I love Splinter Cell.
Here's a series. Have a series instead.
Yeah, so this is a series, and that's fine, but like,
It's
Yeah.
fun.
I don't know. Netflix animated series are doing really well. I mean, Castlevania is a good example of a good video game adaptation. So, yeah, and I think with someone with experience like on the John Wick films, I think it could be something cool. So,
Damn straight.
the other big thing is that Netflix is developing a feature film, which is going to be a mix of live action and animation based on Beyond Good and Evil, which is fascinating.
That's
And
quite
it's
something.
going, and that's being helmed by the director of Detective Pikachu, who that was also live action, a hybrid live action animated thing. So again, Beyond Good and Evil 2, another franchise that Ubisoft has announced a sequel for this thing, but I can't remember the last time we saw it in action.
It was a long time ago. And I don't think we actually ever saw any gameplay. It was just like a trailer.
Yeah, it was a trailer. I know they showed behind closed doors gameplay, but it was like, I think this game's the sequel's ideas are so ambitious, and it's just like it's like ideas right now. It's not really a game just yet. But yeah, man, I don't know. I'm almost certain we'll get that film before
The game, probably.
the game. Almost certain that it will happen. So yeah, big week from
That's
Netflix.
for Ubisoft. Well, and Netflix. Ghost of Tsushima also, I think yesterday dropped, Sucker Punch dropped some stats from the game. It's been out, like 2 weeks now? Let me throw some numbers at you. Okay, so there's been 156 million standoffs.
Damn, that's a lot of standoffs.
57.5 million duels. 140 million enemies collapsed in fear. 810 years spent on horseback.
Holy shit.
14.2 million haikus written. 28.1 million
that
flute
feature
songs
is
played.
so cool. That haiku feature is so clever. I really like it.
Did you write a haiku in your limited time of the game?
Yeah, I did. I did it that very first one.
I
It was
love
really
it how
cool.
it gives you, like, the options are limited, but it still makes you think, like, how do I write about my experience in this haiku? And it is like,
Exactly.
water is wet. Leaves fall all the time.
Water is wet. The land reflects off it.
That is not a haiku,
Yeah.
but it's funny how I think everyone writes something based on what they've been doing in the game, and it is like, I lost this person. I'm so sad right now. Let me just reflect this in this haiku.
It's so like silly, but it's great.
Stand up.
I also
play my
I saw a
flute.
great tweet going around this week where they were like, it's kind of weird how everyone's wondering how Abby got muscles in The Last of Us 2, but they don't wonder how Jin wrote haikus centuries before they were ever introduced in modern history. Yeah. The time period the game takes place in, I think, predates haikus by like 400 years.
Okay.
Something like
I wasn't sure because I know. Haiku is obviously very Japanese. Had no idea what the time period was. That's amazing.
Yeah, I didn't know either, and I was just like, yeah.
But the
there you go.
best-
There's your double standard.
So the two more stats: 15.5 million photos taken, which it's a lot.
Shit.
Don't get me wrong, but I thought it'd be more because I've seen just photos flooding Twitter.
That photo mode is unbelievable.
It's
it
really
really is.
That is
like,
a benchmark for photo modes, honestly.
I understand now why everyone was going mental over that photo mode because it's just
super
like
beautiful.
you can animate it, you can change the weather, you can basically create your own like dolly track for tracking shots.
Yeah.
Which is just like the amount
crazy.
of effort in that photo mode is unbelievable. Yeah.
But the most important stat: 8.8 million foxes petted.
Very good.
Good.
Very good
player
foxes.
base.
What about, wasn't there stats to do with like Jin's butt?
No, oh no. I think you're confusing a headline with actual stats because Darren's headline for this article on Critical Hits: Ghost of Tsushima players have gazed upon Jin's bare buttocks more than 16 million times.
Yeah, you see. So he's bathed 60 million times.
I don't know
Got
where.
to see that good
is
Jin
that-
butt.
Is that Is it onsen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the
16.2
little
million
bubble
onsen
baths.
visited. That's so.
Yeah.
That's a lot of hot springs and quick glimpses at Jin's butts.
It's a good butt. It's a good butt.
Okay. So that's that.
Speaking of Ghost of Tsushima, they also put out a new patch that it added a new difficulty mode called, I think it was Brutal, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, brutal or
I wrote this news piece earlier in the week, so I'm just like pulling from memory. But yeah, it's basically like enemies do more damage to Jin, but Jin also deals out more damage. So it's like we're trying to make Sekiro. I don't know, something like that. You also have much tighter windows on parrying and blocking. So that's a thing. They also then added some new accessibility options for combat as well. So like it's not a difficulty mode. It's more, like I said, an accessibility option. So like you'll be able to block previously unblockable attacks. If you get hit in combat, the enemy will immediately disengage their combo to give you time to like regain focus. Enemies will also not attack you while you're healing, stuff like that. So it's like increasing time windows in a more natural way. So I think that's a really cool.
That's quite cool.
A really cool thing to add. So yeah, that patch is out now already.
Well, speaking of Sekiro, there's an update. There was an update announced this week, which introduces some pretty cool features to the game. So it'll let you rematch bosses, tackle boss gauntlets,
boss rush mode.
Yeah, perform player movement recordings and more. And my understanding of that player movement recordings is very much like Bloodborne and Dark Souls, where there's maybe a record left behind by another player and you can see how they died or what they did, which is really cool.
I'm thinking that's what it is as well. Like when I read it, I was like, oh, that sounds like the echoes in Bloodborne. So that's, I mean, I had never found those things helpful at all, but maybe some
I
people
just love
do,
watching them. Like, how
I
did
love
this
watching
person die here? Watch the thing like, okay, they rolled over, they jumped off the side of this building. Okay, cool.
Or you just see them swiping. I found someone died in Hunter's Dream. They swiped and then they died. And I was like, exactly. I was like, how did you manage to die here? Like,
I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, but that's cool. It's cool that Sekiro is still getting content. Yeah.
Yeah. Boss rush mode sounds like a good time.
I need to go back to that game.
I want to replay it.
I've seen a lot of people dissatisfied with Ghost of Tsushima's combat, being like, this makes me just want to play Sekiro again.
Look, I mean, I can say Ghost of Tsushima's combat is I can see the overlap though. I mean, because the parrying in Ghost of Tsushima and the blocking is very much like Sekiro, but Ghost of Tsushima is a lot more forgiving than Sekiro.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, like I said, it's a different game,
and this is not at all meant to be a flex. But it was the thing of I know a lot of people said like Ghost of Tsushima is hard, and I was like, I played it in hard, and I died a couple of times, but it is not Sekiro difficult. Like it's really not as difficult as that.
I'm playing it on hard because I've heard that's the good way to play Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah,
and I've died a couple of times just because I'm trying to get used to the kind of flow.
I died a lot,
especially with the no lock on thing. I was just like, this
when
is
you
taking
it, though,
some used to.
You really won't struggle too much, I don't think.
Yeah. But it is so far it's a satisfying combat. So
not to take away from it. The combat's solid. It's just you can't play Ghost of Tsushima expecting Sekiro. It's not quite the same.
It's
game.
not tuned in that same way. Yeah. Halo Infinite was announced yesterday that its multiplayer will be free to play. And that it will run at up to 120 frames per second. Obviously,
bam,
resolution withstanding, but whatever. This is a big power play by Microsoft, I think. So, Halo Infinite is being touted as the game's platform for the next couple of years. And they basically said that one of Halo's biggest draws, which is its competitive multiplayer, will be free to everyone to play. I think it does two things. It's going to resurge the competitive scene for Halo multiplayer, like the esports kind of focus, because there definitely is that. Yeah. But also, I think this aligns with how multiplayer games are marketed in today's age. You've got your Apex Legends, you've got your Fortnite, you've got Warzone for Call of Duty, which is its own thing, separate to Modern Warfare. All of those are battle royales, so I think this is the first indication that it's like multiplayer in general is going to become a free to play thing. So yeah, it's interesting. I'm pretty sure 343 in a blog post said there won't be any microtransactions, like loot boxes. They said specifically, but I 100% think there will be like a battle pass sort of system. So like unlocking gear based on
stuff,
challenges you do and plays you make and whatever, just not randomized loot boxes is kind of what they're saying. So yeah, very interesting. again, Microsoft kind of like going in their own direction. I read a really good article this week which said it's kind of pointless arguing about consoles now because of how different all three are.
They are so different.
You've got Nintendo doing their own thing with the Switch. You've got Sony, who are super focused on generational leaps and single-player narrative games. Like, you know, say what you will about their games, but they all follow a structure. They are narrative-focused. They are single-player. A lot of them are very cinematic, very film-like experiences. You know, and that to me is why a lot of people I know look at Sony's exclusives and don't like them, because that's not what they're coming for, you know, to games for. It's what I like, but I can understand their perspective. Whereas Microsoft seems to, everyone goes, oh, they need a Last of Us. It's like, not really.
It's just different.
It's a different game. Yeah, they don't need a single player a game. Maybe their focus now is on a multiplayer perspective, which, you know, if you look back at the Xbox 360, that's what won them that generation, was Halo's multiplayer, Gears of War's multiplayer, you know. The dawn of Xbox Live is really what got them going in the console race in the first place. So, yeah, I don't know. If that's their path, then that's their path. It will be interesting to see unfold.
We'll see how it goes. But yeah, it's a very interesting approach. And just to knock it home, Microsoft doing some very interesting like pro-consumer stuff this generation. And
definitely,
it's going to be very interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah, their messaging and stuff needs to be a bit clearer, and I think you won't see, you know, this idea that Microsoft isn't matching Sony in terms of quality. That sort of sentiment won't go away, because the larger majority of online sentiment when it comes to games is like, it has a focus on very high production single player games.
Yeah.
That's what people really hone in on. But when you look at, you know, the majority of what is being played, it is your multiplayer shooters like your Fortnite, your Apex Legends. So for Microsoft to target that is not, from a business perspective, is not a bad thing. It's just, it doesn't make the headlines, or it doesn't have the wow factor in the same way that a Last of Us 2 launch does.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it's unsuccessful. It's just different.
It's
and
just
might not
different.
be to your tastes. Yeah.
Sure. What other news
what else
do we have?
Trying to see here. There was another War Table event thing for Marvel's Avengers. Yeah, that game, I don't know. That game just doesn't do it for me.
When is it coming out? It's
next
soon,
month.
isn't it?
Oh, well, in
Next month.
September, beginning of September, yeah.
Well,
it
we are
doesn't
in
really do
August,
anything
so-
for me. It just looks so boring. Like, it just looks, there's nothing that excites me about it. And I'm like, and it's weird because I'm not expecting the movies, but like, I love the movies a
Yeah.
lot. Like, I look forward to a Marvel release. I'm there on the day it's out, you know. But man, this game just doing fucking nothing to get me excited. Sweet nothing. I mean, there's a beta coming this month, so I'm curious to like actually give it a go and see how it works. Maybe it's a case of, you know, when you're playing as these heroes, it feels great. But
yeah,
other than that, yeah, whatever, man. I don't know.
Okay.
What else? There's new DLC coming to Neo 2. So in case you're looking for a different ninja game to play, that's also really difficult. What else? Oh, Anthem kind of like showed off how it's changing up its loot, and all I can really say is it looks exactly like Destiny, which is not a bad thing, because hey, Destiny's loop is pretty great,
time.
but also like, wow, it just makes Anthem look even more uninspired and uninteresting. So yeah,
Poor game, man. Poor game. Don't know.
I think that's kind of it.
Yeah, there's nothing. I mean, I know Steam cracked down on the like region locked their store.
Yes, yeah. So now whenever what was interesting was now whenever you change regions on Steam, you'll have to verify that change with a payment plan from the region you've changed to. So really what it stops is people just using VPNs to, you know, get cheap cheap prices on games from other regions and fucking over that regional pricing. Because like it happened very recently with Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah.
It was priced
super cheap here.
here and in other Southern American regions very cheaply because it takes into account the economy of the region, and people abused it to the point where they had to bring it back up. So
it's insane.
Yeah.
Sure,
less of that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that's news. News in a
Yeah,
nutshell.
I think that's kind of it. Yeah, Razer and Xbox are working on Halo Infinite peripherals coming in the future.
Oh.
Yeah, that's about it. Cool. It was a slow news week. It definitely feels like almost the
it's the E3 slump.
Yeah, it feels like the E3 slump, even though there wasn't an E3. But yeah.
There was though. E3 was just like 2 months long.
Yeah, God, and there's still like there's Gamescom this month now. It's just like fuck.
Oh my God, yeah, we're in August. Shit.
Yeah, there's digital Gamescom. There's going to be another Ubisoft Forward in September, and I'm almost certain August. Sony apparently has a state of play happening in a week or two, and Microsoft is
to be this week.
Yeah, Microsoft is meant to be showing off the Lockhart this month, so this month ain't going to slow down. E3 all day.
Stuff. E3 all day, every day. 2020 is the E3 year.
Yeah. When they said E3 2020, they didn't tell us that they meant the whole year was E3.
The whole damn year. But yeah, should we get to
questions? Yes, if you want to send us questions, you can email us, checkpointchatpodcast@gmail.com. You can also message us on any of our social platforms, at checkpointchat on Instagram, on Twitter, DMs are open. You can send us your greatest TikTok before Donald Trump bans the platform.
Yep.
Well, it won't be banned here, so fucking send us all your TikToks.
Goddamn.
In defiance.
Okay. We have an email from Malesh, who, just to recap, last week was it last week or the week before? He sent a question asking advice about his son starting a YouTube channel for
I think it was
Minecraft.
last week, yeah.
Yeah. So he followed up. He said, "Hey guys, thanks for the advice so far. You're welcome to paraphrase this conversation on the podcast, but as you implied, rather read these out in full." Anyway, I think the biggest thing...
Don't tell me how to read my emails.
I think the biggest thing I didn't realize until you mentioned was that you can record more than 5 minutes on Xbox. I played around and got it working. The plan right now is to pull the video from Xbox, let him record the voiceover after the fact. Then I'll start a private YouTube channel and share the link only with his friends' cousins. I'll keep, his friends/cousins. I'll keep doing that till he gets better at speaking and sharing his ideas, and I get better at video editing.
Nice. That's a great idea.
Most of it is stuff he copies from other people's YouTube channels. Oh, and then he sent some photos. So he said, the SA flag I'm particularly proud of because he saw someone do an American flag. He grabbed the SA flag from his room and replicated it in about 5 minutes. And we have a screenshot of a SA flag replicated in Minecraft. And is that an octopus or squid or an alien?
Okay, wait. I need to load up the mail so I can see this because this sounds really impressive.
Anyway, I'll send you the YouTube links when we get a little further. That's really cool. Thank you for the update.
Yeah, that is very, very cool. I think the approach is perfect as well. Like keeping them private, sharing them with people you know.
I actually never thought about
small
that.
5-minute segments of Xbox also works because it's like manageable to edit and manageable to voice over.
Yeah.
Let's see these videos. Oh, that Slashkin flag's cute. I love that.
It's perfect.
And this octopus, yeah, I don't know if it's it almost looks like a children's representation of Cthulhu.
I thought it was an octopus because it's got all the limbs. Then I saw 7 eyes and I was like, no, that's not really an octopus, but it's kind of close. Cthulhu's probably
Cthulhu. Yeah.
It's a good one.
That's really cool. Really, really cool. Yeah, please keep us updated on this.
Thank you for the update.
This is great. Yeah, thanks for the update.
Okay.
What is the hashtag at the bottom? TMGTLT. I'm trying to figure it out.
Where's that? Oh, thanks, Monday. Gotta throw lit thistles. Got it, man.
Gotta throw lit thistles. Wow. That is podcast title right there. Gotta throw lit thistles.
Okay.
Wow, that is a tongue twister now.
We had a long ass email from Deathbox ZA. It says, "Hello guys, hope all is well. In reference to last week's episode, Pet Masters has moved to around the corner and the new shop is still really awesome. It is where the entrance to the Flora Farm was, and the Flora Farm is now gone."
Yeah, that's now the Leroy Merlin
Leroy
hardware.
Merlin.
Yeah,
That's an
that
interesting.
means Deathbox lives near me.
He lives.
I'll come
he
find
lives in the east. Not Benoni East, but I think he's Edenvale. Shit, I can't remember where he lives.
Edenvale.
Okay, part of his email says, "What is the origin story of Matt and Sandy? Where and when did you guys meet? Is it a better story than Twilight?"
I think it's good to break up this email because they're all separate questions.
It's a lot of separate questions. Yeah.
Where did we meet? Lazy Gamer, essentially.
Lazy Gamer. I distinctly remember meeting you. I think I knew of you, but I think I officially met you after the one Rage.
Yes, that's where we formally met. Yeah,
were you in the Lazy Gamer
did the
crew
stupid chili thing,
eating chilies? Yeah, and I took photos.
I wasn't part of Lazy Gamer then, but
No.
I was friends with Zoe and Jeff. And yeah, I remember you being there because I think you were helping out with video at the time.
Yeah. I'm just taking. I was just taking photos of the something.
I do remember it was at the Hogshead, which was close by. Yeah, I remember you taking photos and you were friends with Garth and I was friends with Garth. And then for some reason we ended up starting at Laser Gamer almost like within the same month.
It was the exact same month. Yeah.
Yeah, you took up their offer to do their videographer for Gamescom. Mm-hmm. And then that was when I made the jump to Lazy Gamer around then. So yeah, we started at the same time. So that was
definitely
pretty cool. Camaraderie.
Definitely a better story than Twilight.
Definitely. And then we started going to Princesa together.
Ah, yes. Next question. Have you guys
And then you got me into running like a devil.
And look at you now. Have you guys seen the Lego Mario? I was watching another SA streamer. Not my favorite SA Not my favorite SA streamer, who you can find at twitch.tv/Heronese #easyplug. Thanks for the plug.
Nice.
But I watched it being built and it's quite awesome. Darts would bite, but it's still cool with the noises it makes as Mario interacts with the different blocks, etc. Like if you hold the Mario and lift him up, he makes a jumping noise. That's cool.
That's so cute.
That's
like a wahoo.
That Lego set looks like quite something. I don't know how expensive it is though.
It's very expensive. I like the interactivity. I don't like how the Mario looks. I really do not.
Weird.
Weird. And when you turn him off, his eyes just go black. So he looks like he's a dead husk of a Mario. It's horrible.
Is it the Funko Pop problem?
Yeah, essentially, he just looks dead inside.
Soulless,
But I really like the designs of the levels, like the piranha plants and the Goombas and stuff. Like I'm with Deathbox. I don't know if I'll splurge on the set because I don't really I buy Lego to display, not really to play with it in the way that this Mario set looks like it's meant to be like a toy.
Yeah.
But it is really cool that Nintendo and Lego are working together, and I hope this means that Lego design for the Zelda horse stables is coming, because I will fucking buy that day one. No,
give me the Kirby Lego set where it makes vacuum noises when you open its mouth.
or make an electronic version of that shopkeeper in Zelda that just goes, hey. Yeah, I'll buy that.
Next part of the email. So you guys have probably discussed how awesome Grounded was, but I just had a thought that I don't know if you covered when talking about it. But imagine that game in VR. I would literally die probably, but it would be really epic.
God.
That'd actually be quite a trip. I think it'd be really cool.
It'd be a trip. I know the Forest got a version in VR, a mode in VR, and that would scare the living daylights out of me.
No thanks.
I can't imagine facing a spider in VR. Like I think that would be where I'd just take off the headset and just
be like, I'm done. And
I think we spoke about it last week about the spider thing in that Dota demo that I experienced in VR. Yeah, demo. And I was very close to just taking off the headset. Yeah.
And then last part of the email, side notes at Sandy, does Matty have shares in Xbox that he isn't telling everybody about? I won't lie, he's quite a salesman. Also, use a code Heronese at checkout to give you a discount, because I feel like it should.
Yeah, you should get a creator code for like the Epic Store.
I'm getting a lot of shit because I think the last few weeks I've been plugging so much stuff. So like when I stream Trackmania, I told everyone like, yeah, it's free, you should play it. So everyone's like, ooh, you know, how many shares are
in
Ubisoft giving you here? You know,
you even paid them.
even paid them. Goddamn. Even same with Hyperscape. Like, yeah, this game's free. You guys should play it. And let me tell you, this week, Xbox Game Pass, I've been selling it to every bloody person. Because why not? It's okay, now I'm going to sell it to all the listeners. Okay, Xbox Game Pass for PC. I don't know about how much it costs on console, but on PC, you pay 15 Rand for your first month. That's 1.5. Thereafter, 50 Rand a month. Because it's in beta, it's super cheap. And you can play games like Grounded and all the Halos, which we spoke about earlier.
All the Halos and Hellblade. I think every game we've spoken about on today's episode is on Game
Ori
Pass.
and the Will of the Wisps, Ori and the Blind Forest. All these really good games for 50 Rand a month. Yeah.
It's mad.
Yeah, it's insane. Really good value.
It really is just, again, the best value in video games today. Like,
use the creator code checkpoint chat at your checkout when you buy Game Pass. Thank you. We get money.
You should get a creator code for Epic. I know Grant Hines has one, so anyone can give you some cash from Epic.
Some cash mullahs. Damn.
Yeah, and when you stream any games on the Epic store, then
just get some.
I don't know. I don't know how that shit works, but I just know it works.
I have no idea. Okay, so that's all we have an email. Let's bounce to.
Thank you so much for your emails, Malish and Deathbox.
Deathbox ain't done. I've got questions on Instagram from him.
Oh.
So next
hitting
question.
Both mediums here.
Yeah. He says, I need to mount a third monitor portrait mode. What's the best DIY way to do that as I am cheap? I'm thinking of doing it with wood. I don't know how you do that. But
I'm assuming if you have to mount it that way, that it doesn't, like whatever stand your monitor's on doesn't support like a swivel, that it can just do that. I don't know. You could, VESA mounts are really expensive, so I don't know. You said you want to do it on the cheap, so that's not really a recommendation.
Duct tape is your friend.
Yeah, duct tape. Just fucking duct tape it to the wall. just a piece of duct tape at the top and a piece of duct tape at the bottom.
You're good, man.
That's. I mean, look at all the construction you did in Grounded. You can figure something out. Just
do it, man.
Break down some blades of grass, and you've got a good support system. So.
Well, I mean, speaking of Grounded, was it before or after you left? We found a recipe for. We researched rubber or something, which you can now use to make glue. Oh, that was
just before I left, yeah.
So use the glue from Grounded to keep that monitor up.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, I have no idea. Like, I can't think of the first thing of like a DIY solution besides maybe buying like a microphone arm and duct taping a screen to it.
Jeez, I think the screen would be way too top heavy for something like that.
It would be so heavy, yeah.
I do understand his dilemma though, because having a display in portrait mode, I don't know what sort of work Deathbox does, but I know for programming it's a very common thing to have. You'll have a display in portrait mode so you can see
more lines,
triple the lines of code than you normally would. So very useful. Let us know what your DIY method ends up being.
Tell us. Okay, we have a question from Bester Bash who says, what's got 4 red eyes and stalking behind you?
Fuck my life.
Sure.
There's no spider behind me. It can't hurt me. It can't hurt me.
It's not real.
Those red eyes, as soon as you see those on the horizon.
I quite like that as a mechanic of like, hey, this dude's angry with you. Eyes red,
me too.
Run away.
Like you can see the spiders in the distance, but they don't have red eyes, so you know they haven't seen you. And as soon as they start, but the red works so well. Like when we were trapped in the cave, the spawn cave, we couldn't see anything, and you just saw the 4 red eyes running at us, and we're like, ah, just right. I appreciated your sacrifice, though. It was real good.
It was worth it. All worth it.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a lot of questions from Cello ZA. So number 1, he says,
Cello.
Who's going to be 1, 2, and 3 on Silverstone this weekend?
Oh, you broke up there for a second. Is he talking about Formula 1?
Formula 1. So name the podium finishers. Who's 1, 2, and 3?
Hamilton, Bottas, Stroll.
Okay,
probably. You're
the F1 experts. I'll leave it at that. You know.
I think that's how it's gonna pan out. Sadly, but yeah.
We'll see. Who do you actually support in Formula 1? I don't know.
I don't really support anyone. I enjoy watching it. And I have like tons of respect for Lewis Hamilton. Like I think he is definitely the best racer the sport's ever seen. I'm just like kind of bored with him always winning. You know what I mean? Like, he's so good, and Mercedes is so good that it's really not. It almost feels like a formality for them winning. So I just wish it was more exciting in that sense. But otherwise, I just enjoy watching.
How old is Hamilton now?
I think he's like 34.
Because he's been in Formula One for a very long time.
Yeah,
like
I think he started in. I think his first race in Formula One was 2007. Yeah. Oh, first one was 2007 Canadian Grand Prix. He's 35 years old.
Jeez.
Yeah. And he's fast approaching, like he's about to break the last of Michael Schumacher's records. Like he will do it.
Crazy.
He's just phenomenal.
Crazy. Okay, next
Michael
question.
Schumacher's son is racing in Formula 2, so he could be in Formula 1 soon. Yeah,
what
Mick
is his son's
Schumacher.
name? No, I was going to 100% say that as a joke, like a Michael Jr. Schumacher or something, but Mick Schumacher.
His name is Mick Schumacher.
Mick Schumacher. Okay, next question. Well, this isn't really a question from Jelly. It says, Pogo stuck, rage with friends, see you on Tuesday. Now, do you know what those games are?
The fuck is he talking about?
These are like these little indie games. They are notoriously difficult platformers. And he is dying for me to stream these because he wants to watch me get angry. I think
like those brutal Mario mods or whatever.
Yeah. I don't know which one it is, but it says one of these games, I remember him telling me, has like a 1.5% finish rate.
Oh, fuck that.
So it's like, yeah, you're speaking my language. Let's do this.
That sounds like it's almost like your aphrodisiac is like hard as hell platformers.
Yeah. Okay, next question.
Like someone says Celeste and you have to go take a cold shower.
Oh, that was good. Next question. What would be funny songs, sounds, etc. to spam? It says on Steam. I assume he means stream.
Deathbox had some really good ones during Grounded.
Did you ever tune into stream and type in !hype?
No. What plays?
So it plays like a very loud club banger. Okay. And every time you type it in, he gets a fright because he's not expecting it. That is
does it play it on stream?
On stream. It's
that is amazing. That's a really cool plugin.
Yeah, so now Deathbox he's put a lot of effort into putting sound bites onto his stream. So now Chiller's obviously looking for, I can tell you one. So Deathbox has a thing on his channel where if you pay a channel point, you can give him a sound to add to a command and it's unique to you. So Cello's added that he's got a Law and Order sound. So it goes
It's amazing. That is so good.
It's great. So I don't know, what song would you have?
I know what song. I know what song I'd give you. It's the theme song to Days of Our Lives.
I should put that on. When I lose a round in Counter-Strike, I just type ! Harry. Okay, what Disney character are you?
There's a wide. I mean, I could say Iron Man because he's a Disney character now. I guess I could say Yoda. He's a Disney character now.
Shit.
A very wide net you're casting here.
This is I've actually never thought about that. What Disney character
I'm going to take from the animated films. I'm going to limit myself to the animated films because otherwise I'd be a Baby Yoda. I'd love to be Baby Yoda. Who am I? I think Cusco from The Emperor's New Groove.
That's a good one. I'll be his assistant, Crunk. Oh my god! Cannot unsee
Cusco's great. He's stubborn. He's pedantic. This is all me to a T.
I actually don't know who I'd be. It's a tough choice, man. There's a lot of characters, and the problem is I just think I'm like, what's in The Lion King? Simba, Mufasa, Scar, all the hyenas.
All the hyenas. Those hyenas, yes.
Aladdin, we've got Aladdin, the genie, Iago,
we could be the great pair of Buzz Lightyear and Woody from Toy Story.
Oh, there we go. That's a good one.
I like that a lot. I think I'm Woody again, stubborn.
Okay, you got a friend in me. To infinity and beyond.
Or instead of being the main characters from Toy Story, I could be the Slinky Dog and you could be Rex the dinosaur. Yeah.
I'll be Mr. Potato because I'm getting old. Everything's starting
Mr.
to
Potato
fall
is a good man. I love Mr. Potato. He's so good.
Next question.
Toy Story is so good.
I still need to see Toy Story 4.
Yeah, same. I haven't seen 4 yet. Yeah.
If you could take the position of someone in a movie and star as that role, what movie would it be? I always thought, but I think growing up, one of the coolest things I thought was being Neo from The Matrix. Like that is a good choice. There's that iconic scene in the first one where he's like, we need guns, and just like racks and rows and just like miles of weapons appear. I just thought,
good.
I was like, shit, that is really cool.
Or being Neo in that fight in the second movie where he's fighting all those Smiths in that park. Oh.
Don't look at the CGI today; it'll make your eyes bleed.
Oh, it's bad. Yeah, it's bad. Yeah. I did recently rewatch all the John Wick films, and there's a line in the third one where he gets asked like, "What do you need?" He's like, "Guns." Lots of guns. I was like, oh, you guys know what you're doing.
You got him.
You're speaking my language, yeah. I would like to be Leonardo DiCaprio in Inception. I think that's a cool...
shit, yeah.
Like, just like experiencing those like time-bending dream things, and it just seems like a fucking cool... Also, like Joseph Gordon-Levitt in that film, when he does that fight...
Oh, that's...
like in that rotating hall room, yeah. And it was all practical. They actually built a column and rotated it.
Yeah,
that must have been so much fun to film. So that would have been a cool thing to experience.
Problem with Inception though, are you awake or are you still sleeping?
Wow. I think Darren watched it for the first time yesterday.
Really?
And I was just like, prepare for that. Prepare for the bois. Hans Zimmer's bois. Yeah. I love that film.
We actually watched it a few months ago, and really good.
It's so good. It's
good
I know people are like, oh, it's not as clever as it thinks it is or whatever. I don't give a shit. I think the concept is so smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Next
and like
question.
when Ellen Page is folding cities on itself, really cool.
It's
really dope.
Would you rather be forced to dance every time you hear music or sing every time you hear a song?
Fuck.
I'd rather dance because I can't sing. I can't dance either, but I'd rather dance.
Just think about all the awkward positions where both of these would be such bad ideas. Like,
yeah, but I think dancing you can get away with it, but if singing, I don't know.
I think singing is more appropriate. Like, think about you're at a funeral and they sing a hymn. So instead of singing along, you dance.
Start break dancing. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Like at a wedding, maybe that's acceptable, but it's like they're singing like Amazing Grace while they're putting the coffin down into the thing, and you're just fucking
singing.
dancing.
Everyone's like, wow, this is
wow, what
beautiful.
A fucking asshole.
I know the dancing, yeah, but the singing, they're like, oh wow, that's so wholesome.
Exactly. So I think there's certain situations where it'd always be shit. Like you're in a supermarket and you hear music, and no matter what, singing or dancing there is going to be awkward as hell. So
yeah. Damn.
I think I'd choose the singing. I prefer singing to dancing.
I'll do the dancing. Okay. Next question.
If you dance at my funeral, I'll cut you. I'll rise out of the grave and cut you.
On your, like the Undertaker, like up in a belt.
Yeah, 25-0 at WrestleMania. What?
He's back. We thought he retired, but he's here. In Sandy's coffin. What's going on? Okay, we've got 3 would you rathers. Okay, ready. These are quick.
Oh, love these. Cellos are always weird. So. Okay, I feel like this previous question was a would you rather.
Would you rather? Okay, but actually, I suppose it was. Yeah, it is. It was would you rather. My bad. So we had 4. I'm gonna get Lenskin on these ones.
Sweet.
Okay, would you rather be a reverse centaur or a reverse mermaid/merman?
What does he mean by reverse centaur?
So instead of centaurs lower half horse, upper half human. So instead you'd be upper half horse and lower half human.
Oh, that's a terrifying image. I don't like that at all.
What did you be? No, that's a different question. Would you rather be a reverse? Oh, would you rather be a reverse centaur or a reverse merman? So you don't have the fins. You just a fish head and then
you got a fish head and then human legs.
Or you could have. No, but if you're a reverse mermaid.
You don't just swim in reverse, you're a reverse.
Zelenski's not like, oh.
I think both are just gross because you have human legs with like very weird horses.
Yeah, so you can either be like a horse. So let's put it like this. Your upper half can either be a horse or your upper half can either be a fish.
A fish. Fuck.
What are you going to be? A fish? Horse. Okay, Lenska's a horse. You're a fish?
I think the fish because like the horse will be so top heavy. Like your poor legs.
I think I'll be a horse just so I can neigh when I'm angry.
Watch me whip, watch me neigh.
Yeah, watch me whip, watch me neigh. Would you rather have every shirt you wear be itchy or only use one-ply toilet paper?
Fuck, one-ply toilet paper.
Yeah,
no,
let's go also
no
like
question.
one-ply toilet paper. I think we're
No
all
question.
There.
I mean, you're not wiping your ass every second of every day, but if you're wearing a shirt every second of every day that's itchy,
you'll die.
like, come on. Like, one-ply toilet... We've all used that one-ply toilet paper. We've all been to schools.
It's garbage.
They use that one-ply. It's fucking garbage,
Actual
but it's
garbage,
doable.
yeah. It's doable.
An itchy jersey you want to throw
thanks.
into the sun by the end of the day.
Throw into the sun?
Yes.
How are you going to yeet a jersey into the sun?
I will yeet that jersey into the sun. You are so fed up.
The momentum and effort you need to throw into that jersey. Remembering
I'll fill that jersey with
will not
rocks
go
and
far.
yeet it.
Oh my god!
Now I'll yeet that into. I'll ring up Elon Musk. I'll attach it to the top of his next fucking spaceship,
Rockets,
and you can yeet that thing into the sun.
Okay, this would you rather is a banger. Okay, would you rather have baby legs or baby arms? Feet and hands stay the same size.
Oh,
Lenska says baby arms. The problem is when I think of baby arms, I just think of it's not quite the same, but Deadpool when his limbs grow back. It's
so yeah, when his limbs grow back, but his hand is the correct size.
Oh my god!
I think I'd have to choose legs because I can't imagine being able to play video games with the baby arms.
Yeah, but your hands stay the same size, so your hands aren't
but
the issue.
if they're baby, then the distance between them is like so much larger.
Oh shit, you're right. Yeah, I don't actually know, but see, I'm thinking of if I have baby legs, I can't run.
I'll give up running for games. I'll make that sacrifice.
I'd probably go towards games, but damn, I don't want to.
I mean, you could
running.
still run. It would just you'd have to take many more steps. You'd be like a Dachshund.
Can my baby legs support my weight? Can my baby legs support my weight, and not only that, my horse head when I neigh?
Imagine how fragile you'd be when like a dog runs past you. You'd just be like on the floor.
I'd be dead.
Like Ella, and I keep forgetting another dog's name. Martha. They'd just break your legs every day. Also, why does Martha just chill in the garden, just look like she's pondering life?
Alessandra wants to know why Martha chills in the garden pondering life. Lenska doesn't know. She everywhere. She just ponders life. Yeah.
She just looks so like zen and at peace with herself. Like she doesn't need anyone's company. She's an independent Airedale.
Yeah, and like Lenska said, she'll sit there for a good hour, if not more, just
Crazy.
chilling, like taking in life, being like, what is the meaning? Yeah, planning her next murder.
Cute. Her next murder. Who did she murder? Like a bird?
She murdered she murdered a bird this week and a rat last week.
As long as it's not the tortoises or the cats.
Or the cats. No, the cats see her coming a mile away and they're like, nah fam. I'm out of here.
Not today. Not
today. And that's all the questions.
Is that it? Nothing on them DMs?
What, on Instagram?
On Twitter?
Was there a Twitter DM? I don't remember seeing.
I don't know.
No, it's nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Sweet.
Oh,
well,
wait. I lied. Sorry, there was one on... Did it come on Facebook, I wonder?
Oh, you've got control of that. I do not.
I can't remember. There was one from Michelle. Let me just get to our page. Sure, I just remembered it right now. But you can plug us again if you want while I look it up.
Yeah, if you want to send us questions that we accidentally forget about, like Matthew does.
All the time.
You can email us, checkpointchatpodcast@gmail.com. You can DM us on all our social platforms. Checkpoint Chat on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, on TikTok.
This is
your Defiance
because it was
TikToks.
sent on like Friday morning, first thing. So I read it like half asleep and I forgot about it. So Michelle says, Hi, I was catching up on the podcast and heard you guys talking about bubble milk tea. As I live in the birthplace of it, I feel like I must share my knowledge. Alessandra likes milk tea, which is popular without the bubbles. If I'm feeling indulgent, I'll get the ice cream milk tea, which has a dollop of ice cream in the tea. What?
Oh my God, I need to try that. That sounds amazing.
You're like, I need to try that. I just hear Lenska in the background going, ugh.
I need to try that. That's like milk. It's like a milky tea float. I'm fucking down for that.
I would try it. Okay, she carries on. She says, you are correct that cocoa tea is the best. It's a Taiwanese brand that has gone international. My favorite is a passion fruit bubble tea. I think in South Africa it's called something tropical.
No, that sounds pretty fucking good. Yeah.
I only remember the Chinese fun side fact. It was the first drink I could order in Chinese because I'm so obsessed with it. If you guys ever make it out here, I'll happily take you to have the original bubble tea. It is glorious. Down.
I'm super down.
Yeah.
So Michelle lives in Taiwan?
I think she's in Taiwan, yeah. She says she's been there for... so next part of her message. Also seems impossible to bypass the restrictions of the Switch for the Switch store. Because remember she asked a while ago.
I do remember, yeah.
It seems impossible to bypass the restrictions for the Switch store in Taiwan unless I have a foreign credit card, which I don't, after having lived here for 10 years. I hope Nintendo choose Taiwan over you-know-who in the future.
Oh, that does make sense. Right, because there's all the political turmoil with, is Taiwan a legitimate state, blah, 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 especially with China. So... Interesting. I didn't think of it in that regard at all. Hectic.
Yeah.
But thank you for the bubble tea knowledge. I did not know that cocoa came from Taiwan. I thought it was actually a localized brand.
Thing. She says also, thanks for a great podcast and keeping me up to date on things. You're very welcome.
Thank you,
Michelle.
Michelle.
For listening and thank you for the question.
Thank you for letting me know of the existence of milky tea floats. Milky tea, I will say again, so good. One of the best things I had in China. So fucking good. I want to know if there must be a matcha milky tea. Like I'll devour that. Oh, love matcha.
So when you're going to Cocoa and Rivonia.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm down.
See you there. Wear a mask.
Bubble tea it. A mask with a straw hole.
So you need to poke. You know how they seal the bubble tea with that film?
Yes.
Okay, you need to poke the bubble tea with that straw, and you need to poke your mask as well to get it.
So you just get the film over your mouth, and you just shove that. It's such a violent thing though, but it works. It's like you just got to pierce that thing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great.
Okay, now that is all the questions.
And that I guess is the end of episode 110. Still somehow 150 minutes. When we got to news, I was like, oh, this is going to be a normal episode.
Because we had a lot of questions. It was 10 to 15 questions. Although remember, we speak 2-3 minutes of nonsense before we actually go live. So
that's also true.
We're looking at about an hour 45, I think. Maybe a little bit more.
There.
But not a 2-hour one. I can confidently say that this is not a 2-hour podcast.
Yeah, I mean, we can talk shit for another 15 minutes if you want.
I get so much shit for that last episode. I was like, we're not going to do a 2-hour episode, okay? I'm sorry.
Sounds about right. Sounds fun. But this has been episode 110. As always, we appreciate everyone's support. If you listen to us on Spotify, go give us a rating. Doesn't have to be good, doesn't have to be bad. Same thing on iTunes. Just helps us reach other people. Anyway, if whatever platform you listen to has a rating system, go do it.
Over on YouTube, look us up, Checkpoint Chats, drop us a sub. Purely, you don't even have to listen to us. We just need to get to 100 so we can get that good /
custom URL.
URL for YouTube,
Yeah, share it with your friends, subscribe. We'll be putting up more video stuff in the future. We've got plans.
Shizzle. Yes.
We've got plans. Also, we've got a website, checkpointchat.com. You can listen to our podcast there. It will grow. It is just a place to host the podcast.
Yep.
In the event of issues.
That's it.
Yeah. Thank you so much for listening.
Thanks, guys.
We shall be back next week. Yeah. Go play some Spitlings and Grounded.
Ew,
see you, that was gross. Never do that again.
Backyard.
See you in the backyard.
See you outside.
Cheers. Thank you.
Goodbye.